What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 37. Let's give it a round of applause. Yep, it's episode 37. And we got, like always, we got a couple of things to go over. We got a couple of different crazy situations that's been happening throughout the week. You know, last weekend was Labor Day. So we got to talk about Chicago and all the people that were shot over there. Got a little boy who was killed from playing Ding Dong Ditch. And just a lot of crazy things that happen. But every episode, it's always something crazy. So, but at the end of the day, like I always say, we got to review the world together. We have to review the world together. Hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend. Hopefully they didn't get in too much trouble. They had some responsible fun. That's the main thing. Have some responsible fun. Not go too crazy. Not where you still got to go to work the next day for most of us now. But hey, like I always say, when we talking about this stuff, just remember, if you ever disagree with anything I said, just let me know. We can talk about it. The main thing is us have a good, healthy discussion. But let's jump right into it. You know how I like to do it. Let's get right into it. The first thing we got to talk about today is Chicago. So we got to get over into Chicago. Looks like there was over 50 people were shot. So we got to talk about that. I believe 8 people died all over the weekend. Yes, all over the weekend. So we got a few videos to look at into that. So let's jump right over into it and see what we're talking about. Let's get right into it. Oh, hold on. See, I got to switch over to. Let's switch over. So let's switch over into. Oh, let me do this real quickly. Sorry for the hold up, y'all. Let me get everything. I almost forgot to switch it over to premium. Can't forget that because we don't want no ads showing. So. All right, that is it. Let's get over into it. Go back to. All right, like I said, let's get over into Chicago where 50 plus people were shot. So let's jump right into these next few videos.
It's been a bloody weekend so far in Chicago with more than a dozen shootings in 48 hours.
WGN's Brona Tumblety joins us from 35th and Michigan with details. Brona?
Good evening, guys. Since Friday evening around 5 o'clock, there have been at least 21 shootings across the city, totaling about 36 victims, at least 5 of whom have died.
A series of shootings in the last 48 hours have left 5 people dead in Chicago. This as the Trump administration possibly prepares to send thousands of National Guard members to our city. Today, bullet holes still visible in vehicles along the 1900 block of West 17th Street in Pilsen, some even being driven with smashed glass. It's after a shooting around 1:30 this morning, in which police say 3 men in their 40s were hit. Residents say the 2 youngest of those victims, believed to be aged 41 and 43, were attending an outdoor party when someone approached with a gun and shot them both in the legs. The older victim, whom police say was 46, passed away. Locals say he was homeless and harmless, well known in the neighbourhood. Witnesses tell WGN he was shot in the head, execution style. Less than half an hour before all of this, 4 people were struck on the 2700 block of West Haddon Avenue in Humboldt Park. attack. All were in their 20s and 30s and taken to various hospitals in good condition. And a separate incident earlier in the evening in Bronzeville saw 7 victims. It happened along the 3500 block of South State Street shortly after 11. Authorities believe it to be a drive-by shooting, with someone in a vehicle opening fire into a crowd. All of the victims were shot in their lower limbs, and all are expected to survive.
So far, no arrests.
God, hold on. You know, I'm not gonna pause it too much, but all this happened over the weekend. I never understood all this senseless violence. Jesus. Now, like we always know, based on all the statistics that they've been putting out, that they're saying that crime is down. So, you can feel however you feel about that, but I know some people who say in Chicago, who live in Chicago, who say they don't feel like crime is down. So, I mean, who do you believe? Do you believe the statistics, or do you believe the people? But that's for everyone else. That's for you to make your own decision. I just want to bring this to everybody's attention. So let's keep going into this.
In any of those incidents. As we've been reporting, though, if you look at the latest CPD data available, crime overall in the city this year is down by about 13%. And if you look specifically at shooting incidents, it has dropped by almost 40% on last year's numbers. We're live at 35th in Michigan. Brona Tumulty, WGN News.
All right, Brona, thank you.
Now let's get over into this next video.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. As we continue on your top stories and headlines, take a look at your screen. A massive protest in downtown Chicago this Labor Day as Mayor Brandon Johnson tells President Donald Trump no troops in Chicago. This follows the Trump administration's plans to surge officers to the Windy City for an immigration crackdown in its latest move to expand the federal law enforcement presence in major Democratic-run cities. A lot to break down, so we want to check in now with Fox 32 Chicago's Joni Lum for the latest on this developing story. Joni, always a pleasure. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Well, maybe you heard about the weekend in Chicago, gun violence, the numbers really disturbing, and public safety definitely a priority in Chicago. But thousands of Chicagoans have made it clear they are against having the National Guard on patrol here. Demonstrators marched at the Haymarket Memorial. That's the place, the birthplace of the labor movement here in Chicago. They were protesting President Trump's threats to send the National Guard to Chicago to curb crime. The Labor Day weekend was marked with gun violence. 8 people killed, more than 50 shot in Chicago. That includes 2 mass shootings. That's when there are 4 or more victims. In response, President Trump posted a message on his Truth Social account. It was, quote, "He better straighten it out fast or we're coming." That's referring to Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. There's been no official alert that the military is being deployed here, but the governor and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson are resisting.
If Trump and the federal government is actually serious about driving violence down in the city of Chicago, why would he withhold over $800 million for violence prevention?
And we've also heard from a local alderman, Raymond Lopez. He says that the Guard could be useful here. He believes that the National Guard could keep an eye on some of the tourist destinations, the shopping district, while the police who are already there would be able to focus on the neighborhoods. We are downtown near the federal buildings because this morning there's a group of military veterans and also attorneys who say that deploying the National Guard here would be illegal. This group includes some National Guard veterans who say this is not the appropriate use of the National Guard. So another demonstration in downtown Chicago over this issue. Reporting live, I'm Joni Lum. Now back to you.
All right, a lot going on in the Windy City, and it's only Tuesday. Joni, thank you so much for the...
Yep. So like we hear, everybody's been talking about it, how Trump wants to send the National Guard. Can he do it? I don't know. Would it help? I would like to think it would, but just because if the police are so overwhelmed, then if the National Guard could help, then I don't see a problem with it. Now, people asking why they don't want to send him just more money. Based on what I've seen, seems like they've been in a deficit and losing money and not know how to allocate it properly. So I don't know if that's the reason, but those are all what everybody says. The mayor, says that we don't need National Guard, just send us more money to hire more troops. And Trump wants to send National Guard just because he can just help out that way instead of just sending troops. Well, you can believe whatever thoughts you want to, but the crime, it doesn't look like the crime is down to me, but the statistics say they are. Let's get over into this next video.
Topping your news at 4:30, more than 50 people shot and 7 killed across Chicago so far this holiday weekend. Now, the violence is rising as conversations have been heating up about President Trump's preparation to possibly deploy the National Guard. CBS News Chicago investigator Tara Molina live for us at CPD headquarters. Tara, you found out that this weekend was, in fact, much more violent than it has been this time in previous years.
That's right, Marie. Significantly more violent, nearly double the shootings this holiday weekend than we tracked the last holiday weekend. And all of this as Chicago is under a very strong national spotlight. I asked police about that.
I got him. Look.
You're looking at the scene of a mass shooting in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood early this morning, where police tell us 5 people between 17 and 36 years old were hurt. Recovering 4 guns from the scene, investigators are still looking into what happened. It's the 3rd mass shooting we've told you about this holiday weekend. With 7 people shot Saturday on South State Street, 2 women and 5 men hurt. Police say a shooter opened fire on a crowd from a car. And Sunday, in Humboldt Park, 4 hurt in a drive-by shooting on West Haddon, opening fire from 2 cars, 3 women and a man shot.
It's a holiday weekend, and that means there's a greater possibility for pop-up.
All right, you know, I don't like to get derailed too much, but let's back that up
shot.
a bit.
It's a holiday.
Is that a hairpiece? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're here for the news and the information. Let's go.
Holiday weekend, and that means there's a greater possibility for pop-up parties to be.
Enter criminologist Arthur Larigio, who tells me the weather we've enjoyed this weekend is a contributing factor to the violence we're tracking.
Some of the shootings we saw this weekend, and there were a total of about 55, and close to 10 people have been killed, have been outside in groups. And that can account for the large number of people who were shot and shot at.
I took a closer look at the numbers and found last Labor Day weekend, 26 people were shot in Chicago, 5 killed. This year, more than 50 people shot and 7 killed. Police are not commenting on the increase or addressing questions, telling me they'll share finalized information tomorrow. But with a national spotlight on Chicago,
D.C. was an easy one to explain. Coming into Chicago is a different circumstance. And so we don't have a need for a national presence here. But this past weekend is going to be the precipitant to give Trump the opportunity to bring in the National Guard.
Coming up at 6, more on crimes that have happened across the city this holiday weekend. And again, I'm told police will not have finalized numbers on the violence that we've been tracking until tomorrow. Reporting live outside CPD headquarters, I'm Tara Molina, CBS News Chicago investigators. Marie?
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, like they said, the crime has been reporting that the crime is going down. But there's been an increase this year from the last year Labor Day shooting. Instead of 26 and 5, it was over 50 and 7. That's shot and killed. So how does that explain it? I don't know. But it's a scary world we live in, y'all. It's a scary world we live in, but got to keep living it. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think that the National Guard is needed? Do you think that they should just send them some more money, even though that they haven't been able to manage it effectively recently? Or Yeah, tell me your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts, but that's absolutely crazy. Now we gotta pivot. We gotta pivot over into this one's 3 kids that were still in the car while it was being stolen. And he crashed the car and the kids ended up in the hospital. So we got to get over into that. We got 2 videos to watch with that. But it's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, give a shout out. Hello. Thank you for always tuning in. But like I said, let's jump right over into this. We got a few videos to watch. And let's see what it's talking about. It's a crazy world.
The kids were still in the car when the chase ended in a violent crash on PCH in Malibu.
Tonight, we're learning new details about this dangerous ordeal. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo live in Westwood this evening, where the children, 2 of them, remain in the hospital tonight. Tim.
Well, Jory, Nico, that entire family here in the hospital now for a second night after this crash that happened yesterday afternoon. We followed it live as it happened, but today we're getting more details filled in from the Sheriff's Department of exactly how that car was stolen in the first place and now how those children, all under the age of 10, are doing tonight. 3 young children all on the mend at the hospital today after being stuck inside a stolen car, which was involved in a police pursuit that ended in a violent crash. The Sheriff's Department says this sedan was parked at a 7-Eleven on Olympic in East LA Friday evening. Mom left the car running with the kids inside to run inside the store. Deputies say Dad was actually parked next to the running car and saw the suspect hop in the driver's seat and take off with the kids inside. He even tried to jump on the stolen sedan, but was dragged as the carjacker sped off. An hour-long pursuit only ended when another car, turning onto PCH in Malibu, was T-boned, the impact sliding into 2 other cars. That driver spoke with ABC7 off camera.
Braced for impact, and my sister was in the car behind me, and I was just hoping they didn't push me far back enough to hit her car.
The kids inside were all hurt, and those whose cars were also bumped in the aftermath of the crash got a first-hand look at the first responders running right to the children.
It was hard to see them, but I knew that they were well taken care of by the cops and the ambulance.
Crazy. We got to back that up, some of y'all. We got to back that up. Like always, we got to pray for the kids. Because this is a crazy situation.
Dragged as the carjacker sped off. An hour-long pursuit only ended when another car, turning onto PCH in Malibu, was T-boned, the impact sliding into 2 other cars. That driver spoke with ABC7 off camera.
And he
Braced for impact, and my sister was in the car behind me, and I was just hoping they didn't push me far back enough to hit her car.
The kids inside were all hurt, and those whose cars were also bumped in the aftermath of the crash got a first-hand look at the first responders running right to the children.
It was hard to see them, but I knew that they were well taken care of by the cops, and the ambulance was here really quickly.
The suspect who took off running even after that violent crash was eventually caught. Although one driver we spoke with last night says the suspect made a last-ditch effort to steal another car.
I didn't know it was him. I thought it was a random guy trying to tell us to turn around.
The guy came out of nowhere, came up to the front of my car, came up to my car, opened up my car door, and that's when I hit the gas.
The 3 young children, as well as the elderly driver of the sedan that was broadsided, were all rushed to the hospital, but we're told all have non-life-threatening injuries. The family of the 3 kids have started a GoFundMe, and in the post say the 2-year-old, the youngest, has been discharged from the hospital, but the older 2 children will be here for at least another night.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we are told by family, according to that post, those older children are 7 and 9 years old. 2, 7, and 9, all young kids having to go through that ordeal. As for the suspect, he was hospitalized as well after that chase and being taken down by police officers. No details released about his identity or his charges, but you can imagine he will be facing plenty of those. We're live tonight in Westwood, outside UCLA Medical Center.
So you mean to tell me this man stole a car? He went from stealing a car to kidnapping. And then got into a crash. Why didn't he? See, there's so many questions. First of all, why didn't he see the car? Why didn't he see that the kids were in the car and leave out? Would he not have gotten away? Is that the reason? But oh my God, did he mean to kidnap the kids and was trying to get away with the kids? God, there's some sick people in this world, y'all. Truly sick. Kidnapped. Oh my God. You go from robbing a car to kidnapping. Now you have these 2 kids still in the hospital. Well, I think they're out now, but crazy, absolutely crazy. Let me get over into this next video. This one's the police chase. So we'll see a little bit more of the police chase.
What makes this pursuit so urgent is not just the fact that this person is evading law enforcement, this vehicle. Deputies believe the suspect is wanted in connection with a kidnapping investigation, and raises the stakes of this pursuit. Officers are not only trying to stop a fleeing suspect, but they're also trying to protect those children.
That is a good point. Good point.
Crowded, tourists. I got to say, this road has been, thankfully, looking a lot less congested than you might expect on a day like today. Maybe people are out of town for the holiday weekend, but it's been pretty smooth sailing for this driver. You just saw one of those officers parked off to the side. So that's a scenario where I would say maybe that officer was angling for a spike strip deployment. I didn't see any spike strips, but that's certainly what a spike strip deployment operation would look like. One of those law enforcement officers would get far enough ahead of the vehicle, lay a spike strip out far ahead of where this vehicle is.
So could he have just, I don't know the reason why he didn't throw a spike strip, maybe just to stop it from any crashing. But absolutely crazy. Let's get forward some. So it's about here.
Those of you just joining us, let's reset. Very little information known about this pursuit at this time, but what little information we do know is... Oh, and there we see a... Okay, so that's exactly what we hate to see. A very, very nasty collision right in the middle of an intersection. This is in the Point Doom area, and it does look like somebody is fleeing the vehicle. This suspect wearing all black, fleeing up into this terrain. It looks like officers not far behind. We hope that the children inside of that vehicle are okay. We hope that the people inside of the innocent vehicles that may be involved are safe, but that looked like a nasty crash. This suspect fleeing on foot into this structure,
trying to get rid of his
taking
clothes,
off a jacket, perhaps in an effort to disguise themselves. There is a police chopper in the air, so they're tracking this person. As this person flees on foot, we will remind you that viewer discretion is advised. We don't know how these things are going to end. This incredibly scary situation ending on a horrible note. Innocent drivers, at least one innocent driver, being T-boned in the middle of that intersection.
Getting tired.
Again, reports were that there were 2 children inside of the suspect's vehicle. So your mind immediately goes to...
So we know there was 3.
The condition of those children, the condition of whoever innocent people, enough distance between himself, making their way through some pretty thick brush, attempting to scale a fence here. Earlier in the chase, exact location, razor wire,
tired,
walking through the suspect. So the suspect taking the shirt off, climbing.
What is he taking the shirt off?
And we don't know where the law enforcement units are. The condition of Kit's vehicle. There was definitely one vehicle that other. I'm hearing from our parent left that car running, and that's when they had their car carjacked with the children in the car. This nasty fling, and he's sort of just been wandering aimlessly ever since then. These are some
don't know what to do.
Pretty high profile. So, of yet. Or
absolutely.
This is the car chase.
Absolutely crazy. But you know what? He needs to be in jail for a long time. That's as simple as that. Not much more to say about that, but he's got to be charged with 3 counts of kidnapping, stolen car, what is that? Grand larceny? I think that's what it is. 3 kidnapping, grand larceny, reckless driving. He's going to have a crazy amount of charges. And he doesn't need to be out anytime soon. Because stealing the car is one thing. But stealing the car and then still noticing that kids were in the car and still deciding to take it, nah, you're not a good person. When you steal, he wasn't already a good person, but nah, you don't need to be out here with regular people. As simple as that. You don't need to be out here with regular people. But like they said, 3 people were hurt. 3 kids were hurt, plus the driver of the car that was hit. The kids were 2, I believe they said 2, 7, and 8. If I made a mistake, let me know. But tell me what you think, how much time he should get. Do you think he should stay in there for life? Do you think, I don't know if they'll give him life since no one died, but 20 years? 3 counts of kidnapping, plus some reckless driving, all that. Yeah, I can see at least 20 years. He don't need to be out here at a young age no more. It's over with. But this main thing makes you want to think is watch after your kids. Because all she did was leave the kids in the car for a second, which I don't think you should. You should leave them in the side of the car at any time. But all she did was leave the kids in the car for a second, go in, and next thing you know, a man was still in the car with the kids inside it. I can't imagine the fear that would go through my mind. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. But like I always say, tell me your thoughts. Tell me if you disagree with anything I said. That's crazy. That is crazy. But speaking of kids, we have to go over to, we have an 11-year-old who died or was killed, he was killed. Let's say that. Yes, he was killed. 11-year-old who was killed during the Ding Dong Ditch Break. We talked about this before. There was another boy, I think he was in high school, lacrosse team. He did the same thing, doing the Ding Dong Ditch Break, and the owner came out and shot him. Now we have to talk about how it was another prank going on that's similar to the Ding Dong Ditch. It was the door kick. So imagine late at night, you're sleeping in your bed, and next thing you know, somebody kicks your door really hard, and it causes the door to fly open. I don't know if this was the case for that, but that was a big craze going on between kids at one point too. So at this day and age, I don't think we should have kids out there doing these types of things. But am I going to say we didn't do it as kids? Yes, but it was within our neighborhoods. The people who we did it to knew it was us. But absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this video and see what all this is about. We got a few videos to watch over this.
You know Ding Dong Ditch. I think all of us have played it at least once in our lives when we were kids, but it's a game that can quickly turn deadly. We just found out a Houston family is now grieving after their son was shot while running from house to house, ringing doorbells with his friends over the weekend. It's the latest instance of a scary trend across the country of this once innocent prank turning into a life-threatening gamble. News Nation's Xavier Walton is in Texas with the details. Xavier, it takes you back to your own childhood. I think all of us, again, have played this game. How did something like this happen?
Marky, good morning. I think that's exactly what, detectives are trying to figure out. How did a simple game, a prank, if you will, turn deadly? Now, this is obviously still an active and ongoing investigation as, investigators try and piece together what exactly happened and potentially what charges could be filed. Police say the 11-year-old and some friends were ringing doorbells in a Houston neighborhood, then running away. But police say at one of the homes, someone ran out and shot a child in the back as they were running away. That boy later taken to an area hospital where he died. Officers questioned one person at the scene and eventually, let them go, released them during a search of the home involved. Police found several firearms, including rifles. Marky, at this point, no charges have been filed. However, investigators say circumstances here at this point don't necessarily point to self-defense.
Yeah, you just never think that a simple prank like this, kids having innocent fun, is going to escalate into violence and death. But these kinds of shootings are, this is not the only one that has happened, right? Is this becoming a trend, a deadly trend across the country?
Yeah, same old, prank, if you will, but with a new twist. And it's all predicated off of this ding-dong ditch prank that, everybody used to do back in the day. But yes, gaining steam on social media, becoming more popular. On TikTok, the door kick challenge, essentially
what say?
The ding-dong ditch challenge used to be, but instead of ringing a doorbell, kids record themselves trying to kick in the door, post the videos on TikTok. In July, a 58-year-old homeowner was charged with aggravated assault when he allegedly fired multiple rounds at a vehicle fleeing his home. This was in Frisco, Texas, after police say someone banged on the front door. Then back in May, a Virginia man was charged with second-degree murder after he allegedly shot and killed a teenager who had filmed a TikTok video playing the doorbell game at 3 a.m. And then in 2023, this one was really bad. A California man was sentenced to life in prison for ramming his car into a group of 6 teens who rang his doorbell and ran, killing 3 of them. Police departments, nationwide have been telling parents to warn their kids about these pranks because some of them may be innocent enough, but turning deadly, like this case now out of Texas, Marky.
Okay. All right. So we got to get over to a few more videos, but we got to admit that some of these neighbors are going crazy. So, some of these residents who got there, if they just doing the normal ding dong ditch, like where they ringing the doorbell and running away, I think that's harmless. Should they be out late at night? No. I think the parents need to at least know where. I was never doing it. Did I do it late at night? No, I didn't do it late at night. Because my mom would told me be home when the streetlights came on. So you know what I did? I was home by the streetlights came on. It wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But some of these kids, they shouldn't be out there doing it late at night, one thing. But yeah, if they just ringing the doorbell, that's totally different. That door kick prank, come on now. If I'm in the middle of my night and next thing you know, I just hear someone kicking at my door and the door flies open, because that is what's happened in some cases. The door's kicked and it flies open. I'm getting up with my gun. Yes, you're supposed to make sure, but I don't. That's a scary situation. I would think that someone's trying to get me. But let's get over into these next videos. It looks like this next video we're going to get into, it seems that the neighbor actually warned the little boy about doing this and told him to be careful. Wow. So let's get over
details about a child's game of ding dong ditch ending in tragedy. Houston police say an 11-year-old boy was shot and killed Saturday night while running from a home on Membro Street in East Houston.
He died Sunday afternoon, and the man who fired the shots has not been arrested. Orko Manna has the latest on the investigation, what neighbors are saying.
Homicide detectives tell me the 11-year-old boy shot and killed after doing a doorbell prank at this home was visiting family for a birthday party about a block away. Tonight, neighbors call this a tragedy, but also a wake-up call. People are heard yelling in this surveillance footage from near Racine and Fidelity Streets in East Houston just before 11 p.m. Saturday. About 25 minutes later, video shows a Houston police car driving by. Shortly before, a block away, investigators say a group of kids ding-dong ditched this home on Membro Street, a prank where they rang the doorbell and ran off. The suspect, described as a middle-aged man, allegedly came outside, chased the kids, and shot the 11-year-old boy in the back. He died in the hospital Sunday afternoon.
My heart and my prayers go out to the family.
This neighbor, who didn't want to show his face, says he lives near the boy's family and that they hold gatherings with kids often, but no one's ever bothered him. Ding-dong ditching, is this something that you've noticed happening in this neighborhood?
Kids are just being kids. I feel like we've all played these, ding-dong ditch.
So they knew that they were doing something, wrong.
But this neighbor says she warned the same kids earlier in the day Saturday.
As this happened on my street about 4 p.m., my neighbor's door got a knock, and then I caught them before they could knock on my door.
Her thoughts on the shooter's actions?
Maybe they thought they were under duress.
Texas law follows the Castle Doctrine, which allows homeowners to stand their ground against threats using deadly force. But KHOU 11 legal analyst Carmen Rowe tells me, quote, "From what we know, it is difficult to imagine a homeowner reasonably believing children playing a centuries-old prank posed a legitimate threat."
I kind of hold both of them accountable.
This neighbor saying the suspect and the boy's parents should have known better.
It's an innocent life taken that he could have avoided. The parents could avoid, but you got to teach them and let them know what's right and what's wrong. And it's wrong to knock on somebody's door playing a prank.
Houston police say they're interviewing several witnesses and they're still looking for more surveillance footage from this neighborhood. Reporting from East Houston, Orca Manna.
So, yeah. The older man, 100% right. 100% right to me. Both of them, both the parents and the homeowner especially, because how the news described it is that he rang the doorbell, him and his friends rang the doorbell, and they ran away, like what you do with the normal prank. And the homeowner came out and started shooting and ran after him and shot him in the back. I can't see any self-defense, none like that, because anyone who's trained to use guns and handle firearms know that if they're running away and trying to leave the situation, you cannot shoot them. That is no longer considered self-defense. And yes, you have it's totally different if they would have kicked in the door, like the door kick challenge, and you saw them trying to go into the house. That's totally different than them running away, ringing the doorbell and running away. That's totally different. Parents. So we got to talk about the parents. 11 years old out at 11 p.m. It might just be me, but I wasn't outside at 11 years old. Yeah, no, not 11 p.m. while it was dark out. Nah. My mama wasn't going for it. She was not going for it. I don't know what the parents were thinking. I don't know. Maybe they're fine with them being out that late at night, but at the end of the day, parents, please, you have to tell your children about just being aware of their situations. You can't be doing the same pranks that people was doing ages ago, because one, people have less tolerance nowadays, and you don't know when a prank can end your life. And two, first of all, you don't need to be out that late at night doing anything anyway. You should be in the house, relaxing. If you up, watch some TV. Absolutely crazy. We got one more video to get into about this. Let's see what it's talking about.
It takes us out, as I mentioned, to the Lone Star State of Texas. We're learning an 11-year-old was shot and killed Saturday night in East Houston while playing Ding Dong Ditch, and police are still looking for information on what happened. Now, officers say the victim and possibly two friends were ringing doorbells and then running away. A suspect has been detained. I want you to take a listen to the latest information from authorities as we are keeping a close eye on this case.
Last night, of course, for a shooting in progress, where when the patrol officers arrived on the scene, they found a young man or young boy that had been shot in the back, and we're in the 9700 block of Membro Street. And the information we got then, and again, that was like 11:30 last night, was some young boys were playing in the neighborhood. They were doing what's referred to as doorbell ditching, ringing people's doorbells, and just I guess playing or having what they thought was a good time. And there was a home behind us here which they were ringing the doorbell at, and a witness said someone ran out of that house and was shooting at the kids running down the street. And unfortunately, and sadly enough, one of the boys, who was 11 years old, was shot in the back. And at the time, he was not, I'm not sure what his condition, but he was transported to the hospital. And this was about 11:30 last night. An update came in at 2 o'clock this afternoon from the hospital saying the young boy had died from the gunshot wound. So homicide was notified, and we come out to the scene and collectively trying to collect as much evidence as we can. We have identified a possible suspect in the shooting, and we're still talking to a witness. One of the witnesses also, we're talking to him still. So when we brought CSU here, and so we're right now in the process of systematically doing a search warrant on the house. Inside the house, we did find weapons in the house, a significant amount of weapons in the house. So it's going to take us some time to do that now. We've been here for several hours. So I just talked to our crime scene techs. They said we're probably going to at least be here another 3 hours.
Now, before we get into any of the questions, I don't think the amount of weapons doesn't matter to me. The main thing is how he acted with the weapons. If someone rings your doorbell and is running away, and you run after them and just start shooting, you don't need to be one of the people with the weapons. And you deserve to go to jail. Simple as that. I don't see any self-defense in this. Nothing like that. Yeah, just send him to jail. He killed a kid. Killed an 11-year-old playing Ding Dong Ditch. Yes, like I said, the parents should have told the kids not to do that no more. Because you never know what can happen nowadays. But yeah, he needs to go to jail.
Being formally charged yet?
He's not formally charged yet. We're in cooperation with the DA's office. We do have a possible suspect detained right now, and he has been interviewed. But like I said, we're trying to, in a systematic approach, collect evidence at the scene. We're searching for bullet casings at the scene. We have some video, and also we're doing a search warrant on the house.
So you're saying the potential suspect is still currently detained? Or
yes,
downtown,
yeah.
Or what's
no, our suspect's detained. I'm not going to release a lot of information right now, but I will.
At least he's detained. Yeah.
As soon as it's made available to me. My partner's helping me here, so but I can give you some updates when they can become available.
Because we were told earlier they were detained and then released. Were they not released at all? Or
so late last night, there was a possible suspect detained. That was another detective unit from our major assault unit that responded on the scene first, and that was late last night. Homicide picked up the scene when the young man passed away today at 2. So we're here now, and to answer your question, the suspect that was spoken to last night was re-interviewed today and is detained now.
Okay. And that was all right. Well, we got the gist of what's happening. So it seems like he's detained now. That's the main thing. He was released prior, but when the kid died, it turned into a homicide investigation, and that is when they decided to go and detain him. And he's still detained now until charges can be brought up. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like, the main thing I'm getting from this, the main thing is that parents, please teach your kids is that they got to be careful. Yes, the pranks might be innocent. Some of them. The Ding Dong Ditch is innocent. The door kick prank is not. That is crazy. But Ding Dong Ditch, those innocent pranks like that can end up deadly. So I would just avoid doing it. I mean, it just makes sense to me. And second thing is that he deserves to be in jail. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't see this as self-defense. I don't see this as where you can play it off. If the news report says is what they said is correct, after they rang the doorbell, the kids ran away, and someone came out the house, chased them, and shot them down, shot them in the back. There's no self-defense in that, so send them away. Simple as that. Send them away. But if you disagree, like I always say, if you disagree with anything I said, please let me know. Let's talk about it do you feel like that it was self-defense? Do you feel like it's all the kid's fault? So you just let me know what you're thinking. The main thing is us to talk about what everyone's thinking and tell me your opinions. But absolutely crazy situation. Please, parents, look after your kids. Please, parents, look after your kids. Absolutely crazy. But we have to pivot over into, so speaking of a young kid, a mother and a 12-year-old was murdered. So we got to get over into that and see what this is about. This popped up on my feed, so some that I thought that we wanted to look at together. So I thought let's bring it up. Let's get into it.
Police are trying to piece together what led to the deaths of a mother and son in Hazel Park.
The investigation is being treated as a homicide and is still in the early stages. Fox 2's Robin Murdoch is live and has the latest on all this. Robin.
Good morning, Jay and Erica. We are currently standing outside the Hazel Park Police Department, and they are continuing to investigate this double murder at this hour. They are not sharing a lot of information at this time. We are hoping that will change throughout the day. We do know that this was a mother and her son who were killed in this situation. Just a very tragic set of circumstances, and it really is hitting the community here in Hazel Park very hard this morning. Now, police were called out to the 23,000 block of Burdendo right around 4:15 yesterday evening, and this is in the area of 9 Mile and I-75 here in Hazel Park. That is where police discovered that this 41-year-old woman as well as her 12-year-old son were dead inside of the home. And as you can imagine, there was just a very big police presence out at that scene for several hours yesterday while police were investigating this. Right now, they are not saying how the two were killed or sharing any information about a motive. They are working to develop a suspect at this time, but they do not believe that the community is in danger. Now, according to a message that was sent out to parents in the Hazel Park School District, there will be counselors and other support staff on hand for students who need someone to talk to. Now, that message tells parents to please take a moment to hug your children and remind them how much they are loved. It says that you should encourage your children to be compassionate and supportive of their classmates, as you never know what someone else is going through. End quote. Again, Hazel Park Police, they are investigating a double murder at this hour after both a mother and her son were found dead inside of a home here in Hazel Park. No arrests at this point. Of course, if anything changes with this, if police release any new details, we'll be sure to share it with you both on air as well as online.
Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Now let's get over into an article about this because hey, we gotta get more details about it. That's the main thing. We love to get more details about what's happening. So let's zoom in, get rid of that. So as they talked about, Hazel Park, Michigan, 2 people, a woman and her 12-year-old son are dead in what police are investigating as a double homicide. Late Monday night, police found a mother and her son dead inside of a home on I'm not good at names, near I-75 and 9 Mile. Police do not have a suspect in custody, but do say that they don't believe the public is in danger. So we actually get a picture of the mother and son. Like always, let's pray for the family. Let's pray for any of the family members about this who are dealing with this grief. Main thing, if you're dealing with grief, I always say, please go seek help if you need it. Some people can handle their grief alone and some people can't. So please go seek help. Let's see. We spoke to the family of the victims about this tragedy. Family has identified the victim as 12-year-olds Kaderi Jackson and 41-year-old Linda Hill. If I say the names wrong, please forgive me. Linda's 21-year-old son, DeMontez. So like I said, Hill says his mother had a joy for life. He says that they don't have a lot of information at this point, but the entire family is heartbroken. All around good people. She wasn't bothering nobody for real. Always fun. Main thing is she wanted to have fun. Hill says, I don't even know what would make a person do something like this. There's some sick people in this world. Families say that the victim and the 12-year-old son were supposed to be at a Labor Day party. They were just waiting on someone to pick them up. A close relative who didn't want to be identified said someone at the party was on the phone with the victim when the person they believed is behind the double homicide walked in the front door. Wow. They were on the phone together while the situation was going down, but it went blank. The family member said, she said that she didn't hear no screams or anything like that, but she heard the phone go silent. He is 12. Like I said, young and innocent. He didn't have anything to do with this. Instead of joining his middle school classmates after the holiday break, the Hazel Park School District notified the families and resources aid, letting them know that 12-year-old and his mom were killed in the holidays. The families in thoughts and prayers. Absolutely crazy. The family member said that the last phone call, what is that? Oh, that's just the stuff. The family member said the last phone call happened around 4 p.m. on Monday. Shortly after 4 p.m., Hazel Park police said they found the mother and her son inside the home. They said that they haven't said how they died. They only said that they sustained injuries from apparent trauma. Police are investigating as a double homicide. Oh my God. So you mean to tell me someone was on the phone? It sounded like someone was on the phone and the killer who was responsible for the double homicide walked in the door and the phone went blank. Absolutely crazy. Now I do have a question. Is the person who was going to pick them up? Is he responsible for it? Because they didn't mention that. And maybe that was who walked in the door. God, man. You never know what can happen. Life is full of mysteries. Horrible mysteries, yes. Some good mysteries, but mysteries all the same. You never know what can happen. Yeah, just all we can do is protect ourselves and try to and have our heads on a swivel. It might not stop everything, but that's the best we can do. All right, absolutely. Let's pray. Like always, like I said before, let's pray for the family, because dealing with this has got to be insane. Now, tell me your thoughts. Do you think that the person who was picking them up, like I do, had something to do with it? I can't imagine going through this. They were supposed to be at a party. They didn't show up. And then tragedy struck from there. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. It can be a cold world out here. But at the end of the day, we got to keep living it and keep reviewing the world together. Keep reviewing the world together. But for everything, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that like button so you can get your algorithm right, so you can be tuned in to see these types of things and understand what's happening in the world, and just hit that subscribe button so you can keep track of everything that I'll be dropping and all this new information that we just need to review together. But now we got to pivot over into, see this next thing. Let's pivot over into, so this is freaky. So there's some freaky people out there now. Some freaky people. This next thing, a man hit a woman with his SUV because she did not let him smell her feet. Yes, I said it. A man hit a woman with his SUV because she did not let him smell her feet. Let's get over into this and see what this crazy stuff is talking about. I mean, it gets crazier and crazier every day, y'all. But these are the type of stories we need to see so we can understand what's happening, because you wouldn't believe it if we just brought it up. So let's jump over into it and see what it's talking about.
First date taking a dangerous turn in a one and only exclusive. A woman tells us she's lucky to be alive after her date hits her with his car.
Yeah, but before he drove off, he kept asking her about her feet. A local 10's Rosh Lowe joining us live.
Pause it for a second. You mean to tell me this was her date? I mean, that makes more sense than some random man coming up and asking to smell her feet. So she was on a date. Imagine your date coming up to you. Yeah, having a good conversation. He's like, you know what? I love feet. Please let me smell your feet. Please. Absolutely crazy. Let's keep
in Aventura with a breakdown for us.
Strange, bizarre, and certainly something didn't smell right here. We've all heard horror stories about online dating, but this suspect, well, he didn't pass the smell test.
This guy asked to smell your feet?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
Well, initially we had met up because I was going to sell him my sneakers.
She knew something didn't smell right when she met this guy, Almansi Sersel, at an Aventura hotel.
When I got there, he just wanted to sniff my feet, and I didn't feel comfortable with that.
I have to stop you there. What do you say when someone says, I want to sniff your feet?
No. No, I mean,
Why
you
would
can
you
have
even
my
ask?
Sneakers all you want. I mean, I don't care. I'm not wearing them. And, you know, they're just stinky old sneakers. But people like weird things.
Then things got downright scary. She says the suspect runs out of the room. She thinks with her sneakers.
I ran after him, and I met him down in the parking garage.
She says he ran her over with his car.
He did a 3-point turn, and actually hit me with a car, ran me over.
He ran you over?
He ran me over, and by the grace of God, I'm still standing today.
She shows us the injuries.
I've met a lot of people who have foot fetishes, obviously, and nobody has ever done anything to this caliber.
She says she's lucky to be alive.
You're charged with aggravated battery, a second-degree felony.
In his arrest report, cops say after a review of the defendant's background, he's been the subject in other incidents involving the same modus operandi.
We've covered a lot of bizarre cases. I've covered a lot of bizarre cases in my day. This is up there.
It's pretty bizarre. It was extremely bizarre for me, too. I've never experienced anything like this before.
So the victim is still frightened, and she says, look, I was truly fortunate to be alive. I was run over with a car. She tells us there is surveillance video. We're hoping to get that video sometime this week. In Aventura, I'm Rosh Lowe, Local 10.
Absolutely crazy. You know where we gotta go. Where's he at? Come on now. So I was thinking it was a date. I guess I misheard, but they met up because she said, or he came to her trying to buy her sneakers. Probably to smell them. I mean, simple as that. I guess we understand it. Like she said, there's plenty of people who she knows has a foot fetish. I'm not like that. I don't know that many people. At least I'm not that close to many people where I know if they got a foot fetish. But so he met up with her. Just looking at his face is crazy. He met up with her. And I guess during the transaction, maybe he was like, he kept trying to smell her feet, smelling the sneakers. She said no, obviously. I guess he tried to run away without buying them. She chased after him. Stupid. I don't want to say. I don't think she should have chased after him. Dirty sneakers. Yes, I just call the police. That's my main thing. I think she should have called the police, and it would have got all that, fixed all that situation right there. And well, not fixed it, but it would have, at least she's not going to be in any kind of danger, because you don't know what some people are capable of, like we always talk about. But, and then some reason I guess he wanted to hit her. I don't know if she was in the way of the exit or she tried to block the exit, but he didn't care about her. He either she was blocking the exit, or he just wanted to hit her just because he wanted to. Absolutely crazy. A foot fetish leads to you getting charged with trying to kill somebody with the car. Because there's got to be attempted murder? There's got to be attempted murder. Absolutely crazy.
Other incidents involving the same modus operandi.
And and he's been arrested in other cases dealing with the same type of stuff. Foot fetishes. Oh my God. Stealing, foot fetishes. It's a crazy world we live in out here, y'all. It is a crazy world. And there's people have some wild fetishes. Freaky. There's some freaky people out there. We just got to be honest about it. Some freaky people out there. And they out here. Now he out there sitting there in the orange jumpsuit, hands bound, trying to explain to the judge, I just like to smell feet. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, let me know, have you ever been experienced with any kind of crazy things like a foot fetish where a man wanted to smell your feet? And hopefully it didn't end badly when you said no. We don't need to talk about if you said yes. We don't need to talk about that. That's something that needs to stay between you. But ladies, be careful. If you're selling things, it's best to have a friend with you because you don't know what can happen. I don't think you should. People might say that might be living in fear. I don't think that should be considered living in fear. I think it's being proactive instead of reactive. If you're going to meet somebody you never met before, but to sell something, ladies, please, I feel like it's smart to at least bring someone with you, a male friend. Someone who, because if you tell somebody, yeah, I'm meeting up to sell something, can you just come with me? Yeah. No, ain't nothing up to it, but yeah, ladies, be careful out here because people out here are crazy. Yeah, you can turn the people down just like she did. It wasn't for a date or anything, but turning somebody down for a date can end up you almost getting hit by the car. Some people can't control their emotions. And some people are crazy. Some people are crazy. But I had to bring that up because that was a wild scenario that I wasn't expecting to see on my algorithm. But hey, my algorithm is tuned to it. My algorithm is tuned to it. But we gotta go. That was a little side from something not as bad, but we gotta get over into this next, more deeper stuff. 6 people were charged with kidnapping. So we got a hold, and it was caught on ring cam. It was caught on ring cam. So we gotta get right into that. We got a couple of videos to look at for this, but let's see what everything's talking about. It's happening in Detroit. So let's see. There's been a lot of things happening in Detroit, but let's get into it.
Tonight on The Edge, a teen held at gunpoint and kidnapped in Detroit.
And those terrifying moments were caught on security video. Fox News' Jessica Dupnack is live now with a closer look at how this all unfolded. Jessica.
Yeah, what a scary situation for that teen girl who was rescued shortly after she was taken against her will. We are told that she did suffer some minor injuries, but is expected to be okay. Now, Detroit police at this hour trying to piece together what all happened here, but we are told by people close to this situation it was over some money owed to the gunmen and their associates.
Yeah, people.
Welcome. We're glad you came by. We'll be there in a moment.
Rushing a porch, ripping off the Ring doorbell. The suspect with a long gun in one hand and a teen victim by the collar in the other. The girl taken against her will from an unknown location in Detroit Tuesday night, brought to a home off Livernois near 96. We're told the victim knows people here.
Let me see, move your hand from my camera.
Then she was kidnapped for a short time, kept here off Appleton Street in Detroit. The whole ordeal allegedly over a missing $20,000 owed to the gunman.
Where that money at, you brought her?
When Detroit police moved in to rescue her, there was a brief standoff. The teen was injured but is expected to be okay. Several people connected to this arrested, but no charges yet.
Now, like I'm not gonna stop it too much, but did she owe them money? That's my question. That's my first question. Does not make it right, of course, that to kidnapping someone like that, but I would like to know if she owed them money or not. Like, because when you get into that life, you owing people money. Stuff like this happens, and that's why you just don't need to get in that life in general. Now, we don't know if that happened, but let's keep going.
Now, the woman who lives at the home with that Ring doorbell footage that we showed you, she was home at the time, and there were several kids in the home. They were completely rattled, but happy that this was solved rather quickly. Now, as far as Detroit police goes and their investigation, no charges yet. We'll keep tabs on it. Reporting live on Detroit's west side, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
When you look at that video, I mean, you can imagine just how frightened that teenager was. Do we know, though, her connection to this deal?
Yeah, you know, it's alleged that maybe she owed some money or she knew somebody that was owed money. In some of the Ring doorbell footage, it was a little garbled, but they were threatening, that gunman was threatening to hurt her if that debt wasn't paid. But as far as all the dots here, hasn't been connected quite yet.
Yeah, and it does.
So we don't know for sure if she was the one who owed money or she was just kidnapped and held at gunpoint as like a hostage. Absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this next video. This one's the Ring doorbell, so it's not that long, but this is the full Ring doorbell of it.
Welcome. We're glad you came by. We'll be there in a moment.
Wow. Absolutely crazy. Now, this last one we'll get into is the arraignment, so we can see all the people who were charged. So let's get right into it.
6 people are accused of the kidnapping and beating of a teenage girl. 5 of them were arraigned today.
Yeah, this is absolutely difficult to talk about even. The heinous crime happened earlier this week outside of McDonald's on the west side of Detroit. 2 men and 3 women have been charged with extortion, assault, unlawful imprisonment, and some other crimes. They're accused of kidnapping this 16-year-old girl from a McDonald's and then taking her to a house, demanding information about $20,000 that apparently was missing. Now, they thought she knew where it was. Police tell us when the group didn't get the answers that they wanted, they beat her brutally. This eventually led to the suspects barricading themselves, and eventually police rescued the girl and arrested the people now in custody. Today in court, prosecutors argue that each suspect should get the same bond.
They're equally situated in a joint enterprise. This is, they all go to the McDonald's. They're all together while Chandler has the gun. They're all assaulting Clayton. They all then take her to a location. They all then assault her on video. They all then go to the Apple-line address, introduce them to the males, and then the IR talks about them all assaulting. Police locate.
And the judge gave all of the suspects bond. If they post it, they'll have to wear tethers.
Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy.
6 people are accused of the kidnapping. 6 people are accused.
Get over
this guy sold $15,000 girl from a McDonald's and then taking her to a house, demanding information about $20,000 girl from imprisonment.
So you got 3 girls who was doing this. 3 girls, 2 guys. Life is over for them. Simple as that. Their life is over. Over 20K missing. I don't know who stole the money. I don't know if the girl actually had something to do who was kidnapped with stealing the money. End of the day, don't owe crazy people money. Simple as that. I don't think you should owe anybody some money, but once you get into that kind of life that you're doing and stuff like that, I don't know if you owe somebody money. I don't know if she stole the money, missing money. These are not people you should be hanging out with. These are not people who you should be taking money from. They obviously don't care about safety. They obviously don't care about you. They obviously don't care about who they hurt. But now look at them. Sitting over here looking crazy in the jail. Looking absolute crazy in the jail. Now let's see if we can, we gotta, see, this one says 6 people charged. So is it 6 or 5? See, there's so many different. Let's see, kidnapping. Let's see, you already know we got to go over to an article. See if we got anything deeper in it. No, just the same video. Let's see, Detroit. Yeah, we don't have any much more information about it, but that's an absolutely crazy situation. Absolutely crazy. And glad that the woman who was kidnapped is safe. That's the main thing. No one was hurt. No one was killed. But be careful about who you take money from. Be careful about who you hang out with and associate with. I'm assuming she's associated with them just because they came to her, either used her as a hostage or tried to get the money from whoever was, if she was a part of it. But absolutely crazy, y'all. Tell me your thoughts. Do you think that she was the one to owe somebody money, or was it the person that came to the doorbell? Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we had to get over into that. Now, speaking of kidnapping, we got to look at, looks like there was a man who was hogtied and left in a burning SUV. Yeah, I said it right. Hogtied and left in a burning SUV. The world is never a simple place. The world is never a simple place. But let's jump over into it.
Detroit police are investigating a possible kidnapping after rescuing a man from a burning car this morning. Police tell us the man in his 60s is now in stable condition at a hospital. Jack
60?
Springate joins us from where this all started on Detroit's southwest side.
Well, this is the area where police say the 60-year-old man lived, but when they found him in his car Monday morning, it was more than 10 miles away from here. The condition of the man's GMC Yukon might make you think otherwise, but police say they found the man alive around 5 a.m. Monday morning. They say he was outside his home at the 8700 block of Verner when he was taken against his will. When they found him on Detroit's northeast side, they said he was dealing with burns. They now say he's in the hospital in stable condition. Police could not comment otherwise on his condition when they found him. They say his wife was unharmed when they found her at the home on Verner. Police are actively investigating the circumstances around this kidnapping as they continue to search for suspects. And anyone who might have seen anything or has any information that could help DPD find the people who are behind all this, they're encouraged to reach out to DPD's 4th Precinct, or you can send an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. Reporting in Detroit, I'm Jack Springate, CBS News, Detroit.
Okay, so that was that short little video. Let's get over into a longer video and see if any information we can actually get from this. Let's get into
Fox News' Charlie Langton joining us live with the latest on this story. Charlie.
I'll tell you what, Taryn, this is such a bizarre story and still so many questions to be answered. But let me tell you where I'm at right now. I'm on Detroit's east side, 7 Mile and Mount Elliott area in an alley. And this, as you can see here, is a charcoal remains of what was a GMC Yukon. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But this story started in southwest Detroit, about 15 miles from here, where a man, according to Detroit police, was taken against his will, tied up, and then driven about 15 miles to here, to the east side of Detroit, where then his Yukon was set on fire. Yukon was set on fire, and then a neighbor, it looks like, pulled this guy out of the Yukon. What we know so far is the man was in his 60s. Some of the residents over here say that he was tied up, hog-tied, by his hands and feet together, yet he managed to get out. He's at a hospital, and he is in stable condition. Now, we talked to some of the residents around here, some of the neighbors, who says that, yeah, this is a little tricky area, but it should never have happened. Take a look.
It says a tricky area.
Woke up, I'm like, what's going on? Why is there all these alarms? The dogs are barking, everybody's going crazy. You hear like the little boom off the car explosion.
I heard the fire trucks and the dogs and all the commotion. It was wild.
Knowing what you know now, what do you think's going on here?
In this neighborhood, there's no telling.
Wow, okay.
It's quiet.
You got his shirt on?
I mean, like I said, similar has happened like this before.
Nah, I'm not scared. I grew up here, worked here my whole life, 25 years. Wow.
That's just the life over there.
Crime always, at the end of the day.
All right, again, the man is in stable condition. Despite the fact that his Yukon was totally burned, he again tied up. One of the neighbors tells me here that he was hog-tied with his hands and his feet together. The neighbor got him out. They tried to get him out. It was very difficult. Detroit police, though, did manage to get him to the hospital. Again, he's in stable condition. Now, so many questions. Why was he kidnapped against his will from southwest Detroit, 15 miles from here, driven, his car, his Yukon, here where he was abandoned and the car set on fire? Detroit police do not have any answers today. In fact, they want your help. If you have any information, give the Detroit police or Crime Stoppers a call. I am live here on Detroit's east side. I'll send it back to you.
Sure, police are looking to speak with this man, Charlie, because it doesn't sound like this was a random crime. I mean, when you're having somebody hogtied and setting the vehicle on fire, it certainly sounds personal.
Yeah, it's targeted. There's no doubt it's targeted, but why it was targeted, we're just not sure. And then why was he kidnapped from southwest Detroit and then brought all the way over here about 15 miles to the east side and really left for dead in a burning car? Again, Detroit police want to know that answer. At this point in time, they don't. There's some rumors going around on social media, but for right now, they want answers. And if you have any answers to these questions, give the Detroit police or Crime Stoppers a call. Taryn?
All right, so... Yes, we have Same questions. Why was he kidnapped? It's definitely not random, y'all. Come on. Now, we got to be honest. There's no way this is random. If this was a random act of violence, then I'm scared about the world. There's no way. So, most likely, if we're being honest, he was into something. Either he was into something or he messed with someone. Those are the only two options I can think of. Either someone didn't. Let's see. 3 things. So 3 things. Either someone did not like him that he had a disagreement with. Either he was a part of some kind of criminal life. What's the other thing? Someone didn't like him, part of the criminal life. Or he did something to somebody as revenge. So those are 3 things that I could think being the reasons. We won't know until more information comes out about it. And they was asking about why they brought him so far away. Either, I'm assuming the plan was to burn him alive so that he can't no longer identify anything, any remains or anything like that. So maybe they was trying to get him far away from where he lived so they can have no connection. So that may be the only reason, but I can't imagine he survived by the skin of his teeth. Because if the neighbor wasn't around, if the neighbor didn't even want to go near it and didn't pull him to safety, he would have been gone. Absolutely crazy. But they said they said that they're not scared. It's a normal thing to them. It's the normal thing to experience. That crime is just another crime at the end of the day. Another crime. I don't want to be in a community where that's the thinking. I want every crime to be like, oh well, this is a tragedy. This shouldn't happen. I don't want us to be normalizing it. Now that I might have mistaken of how they felt, but that's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. How would y'all feel, y'all, if y'all were? I can't imagine how scared I would be, especially as someone who feels like I'm a law-abiding citizen. Out of nowhere, I just get kidnapped and hogtied, but it obviously wasn't random. So either they was targeting him, he did something to where he could see this reasonably happening because of his actions, or they was targeting him. Those are the only options I can see. Now, let me know if you any thoughts on if you disagree with what I'm saying, or if you can think of any other reason this could have happened. But I'm happy he's alive. I'm truly happy he is alive. Now, the main thing, another thing, he was kidnapped. I'm assuming he's kidnapped outside of his house or at his house. They said the wife was fine inside. So what did the wife don't have any information about what happened? A lot of questions that we just got to wait to find out and see if we can find some answers to. Absolutely crazy. But we got to pivot. So speaking of burning SUVs, we got to go over to Burning Man. So a man was killed at Burning Man. Now I'm not really sure what exact. I've heard of it just because I'm since I was younger. So let me quick search. What is Burning Man? So the Burning Man Festival, for people who are ignorant like I am, so I don't know exactly, is an annual week-long countercultural event in Nevada desert that fosters a temporary city called Black Rock City, centered on the principle of radical self-expression and self-reliance. Participants known as burners create and share art, music, and interactive experiences, with the event culminating in a symbolic burning of a large wooden effigy called the Man. Okay, we had some similar things in not similar, but we had some where they burn like in college they did like the burn of whatever it was. But absolutely crazy. Let's get over into it and see what this is all about and see what information we can find out about it. Let's jump right into it.
Tonight, police are investigating after they say a man was found dead in a pool of blood at the Burning Man Festival in Nevada. Ryan Chandler is joining us with more on that. So, Ryan, what else do we know?
Well, Hallie, authorities are investigating this as a suspected homicide. The local sheriff's office tells us a deputy was alerted to that victim just as that namesake man began to burn, and we now know that victim is a white adult male. Now, authorities say the festival will have a heavy law enforcement presence before it's set to end tomorrow, warning although this act appears to be a singular crime, all participants should always be vigilant of their surroundings and acquaintances.
What did I say?
Now, the Burning Man organization also says they are cooperating with law enforcement as the sheriff's office asks anyone who may know more about this suspected crime to contact the Pershing County Sheriff's Office. Hallie.
Ryan Chandler, thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated.
That's a short little video. We'll get over into another one right now and see what all we can find out.
A homicide investigation in northern Nevada is underway after a man was found lying in a pool of blood during the Burning Man Festival last night. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Marie Mortera. The Pershing County Sheriff's Department says there is no further information available at this time, but the investigation is ongoing as people continue to leave the festival. News 3's Jane Davenport spoke with someone on their way back home, and Jane, he says he couldn't believe the tragic news.
Marie, the man I spoke with is choosing to remain anonymous in this story and asked that we refer to him by his playa name, Zip. And just like the reference to a playa name, there are many things he says people just don't understand about the environment at Burning Man unless they've been. But last night's tragedy was a shock to the community as they continue to question what exactly could have happened.
You know, it was all kind of rainbows and butterflies before that.
Zip called me on his way home from Black Rock City, where the Burning Man Festival is held every year. According to the festival's website, it's a week-long event where people can find art installations, performances, and, quote, radical inclusion.
In all, like, it's a human experience that doesn't happen anywhere in the world other than Black Rock City.
Every year, the festival ends with flames as a giant structure of a man burns, hence the name Burning Man. It was at this time, around 9:15 at night, when police say a festival goer flagged down an officer, alerting them to a man lying in a pool of blood. That man was pronounced dead on scene.
It was hard to take in. It was like, I can't believe it.
Zip said he was surprised to hear about the death, considering how safe he felt the entire week he was there.
Everywhere I went, there was always police there, which truly made me feel safe because I'm in a city with 70,000 people and I only know maybe like 50 of them.
With 70,000 people living with each other for a week in the middle of the Nevada desert, Zip says sometimes things can get out of hand.
But I did see a lot of people that were totally intoxicated and hammered beyond belief, where they were like stammering around.
He mentioned the severe weather too.
On day one, we set up our camp and we got hit with that wind, and you know, there's some gusts that were pretty wicked.
It was a start to a week that ended in a way Zip says no one could have imagined.
It's a reminder that not everything is a party all the time. Not everything is a celebration all the time. It's something that, is very real.
Police say they believe this was a singular crime, but they encourage people who attend these festivals to always stay vigilant. Marie.
Jane Davenport with the latest from the newsroom. Thank you.
Wow.
To always say
party all the time. Not everything is a
absolutely crazy. There's not much to say about it. They say they're still looking for who did it. Based on an article I just seen, they still don't know much information about it as of now. The main thing that they released is that they identified him as a white male between the ages of 35 and 40, approximately 6 feet tall and 200 pounds. Short brown hair and facial hair. That is the one who died. Absolutely crazy. Lying in a pool of blood is crazy. Oh my God. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. There's more to this. There's definitely more to the story. Wow. Let's see if we can find. There's so much crime going on nowadays. So much death. despair. Just make sure, keep, like what the sheriff said, what I always say, you have to keep your head on a swivel, y'all. You never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we'll keep up with that to see if we can find out who exactly, any suspects that they bring together. So we'll keep up with that. Any suspects, and we'll just see any more information that they have about the investigation. Absolutely crazy. You wouldn't expect to see that from Burning Man. You would not expect to see that at Burning Man. Well, they said that a lot of things, crazy things happen. I don't think you consider that. I wouldn't consider that to be crazy. That's just abnormal. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Now, we got two more things to get into today. A little shorter video today, but what we want to get over into next. So we got, let's go over into next. This is wild. This is wild. So there's a video going viral on TikTok of a young lady basically saying that her dad was wanting to get the STD, HIV, and just different STD. He was wanting to. He just wanted to get them all for some reason. There's some weird people in this world, some nasty people in this world. But let's get over into this viral video. First I like to go over into, so let's go over, look at her actual TikTok so you can know who we're looking at. But it's some crazy things in this world. So let's get over into that. This is her. Let's get over to that. This is her TikTok. So you can see her TikTok. There's that blissful. I'm not even going to try to say the name. This is her TikTok. So let's get over into the actual video and see what she's talking about.
My dad purposefully got HIV because he's a self-proclaimed bug chaser and he thinks that it's hot. And no, I'm not joking, because he methodically was planning to do this for years. When we were children, he started to buy books about AIDS and the AIDS epidemic. He would read them, and then he would come up to our family and my other siblings and tell us about how amazing it was to be able to take care of victims of the AIDS epidemic, and how wouldn't it be such a good cause, and how he just feels so bad for all of those victims and how they just want someone to take care of them. This was all methodic planning so my dad could help us become desensitized for when he developed HIV. About 2 years ago, my family received a call about how my dad was extremely sick. He had rashes on his body, he couldn't sleep, night sweats, all of these horrible things. He genuinely seemed like he was going to die. He goes to the hospital a couple of days later, and then we get a call. He had developed 3 STDs, one of them being HIV. Yes, I confronted him about getting it on purpose. He did not deny this, because why would he? He chose to abandon his family so he could then pursue this life of bug chasing and being with other bug chasers. Not only did he try to groom me to be his partner and his toy, but he also wanted us, his family, to take care of him when he purposefully self-destructed. And I'm not supposed to talk about this either, but I hate him, so.
Wow. Yeah, so that video right now is going viral. That video is going viral. Now, she mentioned something, bug chasing. Is that something that's happening now? Bug chasing? What is bug chasing? Well, says you refer to the act of. So okay, yeah. So let's get over into this. The definition of bug chasing, because I've never heard of that before, and so let's see what this is about. What exactly is bug chasing? So, bug chasing, a term originally originating from MSM, men who have, okay, so yeah, we don't need the community. So the homosexual community refer to the act of intentionally engaging in unprotected sex with the goal of contracting HIV. Motivations for this behavior are varied and can include empowerment, the desire for shared identity, a belief that HIV positive status is erotic, Jesus Christ, or an act of rebellion against social norm. These people are nasty, absolutely nasty. What it is, intentional unprotected sex, bug chasing, describes a deliberate act of barebacking. So Goal of HIV infection. So that's their goal. A form of gift giving. Another term, gift giving, is used by some in the community to describe intentionally transmission of HIV. There are some sick people in this world, y'all. Please go get tested with your partners. Go get tested before y'all engage, because condoms don't work 100% of the time. So go get tested, regularly tested, especially if you're sexually active. Be careful about who you have sex with. I mean, we got to be honest about it. You have to. There's a lot of things. We just had another video about Georgia being one of the number one states for the most contracted HIVs. It's not a joke, y'all. It's not a joke. Yes, I don't see how people would want to live. Yes, you can take PrEP and you can take all that stuff PrEP is different. PrEP is before you get it. But like the stuff to get down your viral load count, I don't know. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather just be clean. I can't imagine. Oh my God. Now look at this. Why do people do it? Empowerment. So they feel empowered by it. For some, becoming HIV positive is seen as a way to transform from fear to a new form of sexual empowerment. So eroticism and taboo. Some individuals find HIV positive status to be erotic or sexually stimulating. What is wrong with people? Shared identity. So we know what shared. Political statement. Some view it as a way to rebel against social norms. So you rebel against not having the disease. All right. And suicide. We got to talk about that too. While less clear, there's a suggestion that it might be a form of suicide for some individuals. Absolutely crazy. So it says bug chasing is considered a rare sexual taboo, and many individuals who identify with it do not deliberately seek out sex with HIV positive people. Risk transmission. The core of the behavior is intentional transmission of a virus with significant health concerns. Bug chasing, y'all. And that's what her daddy was. Well, we'll just bring it back to the video. Her daddy was a bug chaser. That's a crazy name. Absolutely crazy. Bug chasing. End of the day, y'all, please use protection. Go get tested. Because I'm trying to live a long life. I'm trying to make better health choices now, of course. But that's something that you can at least be proactive about. Now, we do hear about people lying about actually going to get tested and never going to get tested. Please go. If you're going to get tested, and share your results. Share the results with your partner. And at the end of the day, don't sleep with random people and just believe that they're clean. Come on now, we can't. Not in today's day and age. Too many people have something, and too many people don't care that they have something too. Absolutely crazy. Y'all tell me your thoughts. Have you heard of this before? Am I the only one first hearing about bug chasing? That this was a thing? Or this was some kind of fetish that people had, or an empowering experience? Am I the only one who's this the first time hearing about this? Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, tell me if you disagree with anything I said. Tell me if you have a different experience. Maybe if I said anything wrong about HIV or any sexual transmitted diseases. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm always open to discussions. I don't know if you'll change my mind about it, but absolutely crazy. And if you're a bug chaser, don't tell me. I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at all. But I doubt that you would tell anybody that in general. I think he was only telling that to his daughter because that's his family. Or maybe he didn't say bug chaser. He just said he wanted one. He wanted it. He admired it. Crazy. Absolutely crazy, y'all. But The last thing we're going to get into today, y'all, the last thing is we're going to get over into, so we got to talk about a boy was rescued from a monorail. So I don't know if you've seen that video going around, but it looks like a boy somehow, some way, was able to get onto like a monorail, look like some kind of ride for like a roller coaster, and was able to walk across the tracks. Luckily, another father climbed up on top of a building to save the little boy and was able to get him down. So let's get over into that. This will be the last video we cover for today. A little shorter today, but hey, still packed full of information, So let's get right into it and see what it's talking about.
You're watching the moment that stopped parkgoers in Hershey, Pennsylvania in their tracks. A young child high above them, seemingly frozen in fear after he found his way onto the narrow monorail. Hershey Park officials saying in a statement, a young child was reported missing after becoming separated from his parents. While our team was actively searching, the child entered a secure area at the monorail. Hershey Park adding, the ride was closed and safeguarded by a chained closure at the entrance and barricaded turnstile at the platform. Once inside, the park says he stayed there for 20 minutes and eventually walked onto the track as people screamed and scrambled to help.
No, keep going.
One brave man mounting the track and scooping the boy into his arms, handing him to another man who scaled a nearby roof to help. The incident coming after an accidental death at the park just last month involving a 9-year-old girl who drowned in a wave pool. A Hershey Park spokesperson said there were 100 lifeguards at the boardwalk at the time of the incident, including 10 specifically dedicated to the wave pool. Investigators later determining the park had proper safety standards in place. Jakob Wahl is CEO of a group representing the amusement park and attraction industry and says safety has only improved the last 2 decades.
Injuries per million attendees went down by 51%, and the injuries per million rides taken were down 22%.
Wahl says overall, the vast majority of incidents that do take place are a result of guests not following park rules. Back at Hershey, the scare of a lifetime for that boy, leading to an eruption of cheers for his rescue.
Yes!
Wow. Imagine that reunion with his folks when they finally got their hands around him again. So is there any better idea of how he was able to get up onto that monorail track?
Any parent watching this at home would wonder, how did this kid get back there? Yeah. The short answer to this, guys, is we do not know, right? It was chained, it was barricaded. According to the park, he was up at that monorail station for about 20 minutes before he walked out onto the tracks. Now, there is a Lost Children's Center, according to Hershey's Park, where parents can get bracelets. They can put it on their kids with their name, their information, cell phone number. That's a popular way to reunite with your children when something like this happens. Also, some parents now are using air tags on their kids. But the reality is what you should do, according to experts, is have a location picked out with your child if you get separated so they know where they're going. But thankfully, as we mentioned, 20 feet above the ground in that particular section. Luckily, this boy is okay this morning.
Yeah, thank goodness for that brave other
guest. But in
guest.
this case, it's not like he was just going to look for his parents and wanted a better view. Like, he wandered up there and they were pointing this way and that way.
Yeah.
That was a frightening scene. Sam, appreciate it very much.
Okay. Thanks, Sam.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, absolutely crazy. We got one more video to get into. Now, like I said, where are the parents? Did the parents lose sight of him? Was they not holding his hand? Like, did he get lost and he wandered? But they said it was chained. And so there's a lot of questions. Luckily, that's the main thing. Luckily that he was found safely and a man went up there and rescued him. That was the main thing. So let's get over into this next video to finish it up.
Tony, thanks so much. Let's start right here this hour in Dauphin County, where a young boy is safe after he was seen walking on the monorail tracks at Hershey Park over the weekend.
Yeah, video of it quickly went viral on social media. Fox 4's Tyler Poglich caught up with the man that helped bring that boy to safety, who's now being called a hero.
Yeah.
On Saturday, a crowd of people in a panic after spotting a young boy on top of the monorail tracks at Hershey Park. The ride was closed at the time of the incident, but that didn't stop one man from trying to help.
Kind of like the dad instincts kicked in, and then it was just trying to figure things out and
how
to get up there as fast as possible.
John Sampson of Bucks County says when he saw the boy, he didn't hesitate and quickly climbed onto the roof of a snack stand and then up onto the tracks themselves, getting the child down to safety. It's a feeling he says he'll never forget.
Relief, absolute relief. And even I could feel it in him, the relief, as soon as he got into my arms. And thank goodness he came straight into my arms, and it went nice and simply in that sense.
A spokesperson from Hershey Park says the child was reported missing around 5 p.m. Saturday.
Okay.
He somehow got through the closed secured monorail entrance before venturing onto the track. Hershey Entertainment and Resorts released a statement saying, quote, "We are grateful for the vigilance of our guests and the swift response of our team, and we remain committed to the highest levels of guest safety throughout Hershey Park. From the time he was first reported missing to the moment he was back with his family, just 23 minutes had passed." People all over social media are now praising Sampson for his heroic actions, including the boy's parents.
They reached out to me this morning, so we were able to talk. Obviously, a lot of thanks and everything, which was wonderful. And I'm so happy to hear that he's obviously back with his family, which is the biggest thing out of all this.
Absolutely. So we got the gist of everything, but yes, he is. He is a hero. He is a hero. Simple as that. His dad instincts kicked in. He didn't hesitate. He jumped right up there, climbed on top of the building, and climbed on the monorail to get the boy down. And the other man, we gotta think about. Don't leave out the other man too, who went up there right with him to help him get the boy down. They are some heroes. They are some heroes. So I am happy to hear that the parents. They said that the parents filed for not filed, but said that reported him missing, and then 23 minutes later, after reporting him missing, he was able to be rescued. And somehow he got snuck into the monorail and was walking on the lift. Maybe he was looking for his parents. He didn't know where to go. Just wandering around. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. I'm happy that the child was safe because I think about what could have happened. Because he could have fought. The kid could have fallen. He could have tried to run away when the man tried to get up there and help him. Oh, so many things could have went wrong. But luckily, everything went right and they was able to get the kid back down safely and back with his parents. But just all this tells you is that parents, please keep an eye on your children. It's going to be hard sometimes. Yes, they wander around, but you got to do the best you can. Because the last thing you want is them to end up in a place where they can end up, something terrible can happen. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if you had any experiences where you've lost your child and if you can feel the fear running, and how did you feel after you found them? I know the only time I've been lost is thinking about when I was a kid. For some reason, my mama told me to stay beside her. I didn't listen. I wandered off in the grocery store, or I walked away from the grocery store for a second, thinking that I was still following my mama. Look around, I don't see her. The instant fear in my chest. This is as a little boy now. Instant fear in my chest. Then you just see, my mama always, then I just went up to a employee, tell him I lost my mama. And they'll do the overhead thing and say, if you lost your child is up here, please come and find him. Or please come and get your child. He's up here. I know the experience as just a kid, not even losing my mama like that, but just the thought of losing her. Absolutely crazy. Let me know if you have any thoughts on that. But that is the end of the show, everybody. That is the end of the show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in later. If you missed any of the show, please go back and watch it. We talked about we deep dive into a lot of things, a lot of different topics that we need to talk about and review the world together about. But please remember, y'all, this is AC Reviews the World. Hit that like button so you can get the algorithm right. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with anything that I'm dropping. And then hit that subscribe button. So if you support the channel, please go ahead and and hit the subscribe button. That's all it takes. All you got to do is hit the like button, subscribe. And then, hey, let me know your thoughts. Tell me a comment if you disagree with anything. And if you just want to say thank you, congratulations, please let me know. Thank you. Or thank you and let me know that you support my channel. That's all. That's all you got to do. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching. But that is the end. A little shorter today, but we'll be right back with you in the morning. See, I was a little asleep this morning. It's hard for me to get up, but we'll be right back with it early on Friday, 6 a.m. And then Saturday. Saturday is going to be a little later. I got some plans to do, but we will be having a show on Saturday. Of course, we will be having a show on Saturday, probably around 12. But I'll let y'all know all that later time this week. But thank y'all all for tuning in. Hopefully you had a good day off, or hopefully you had a good weekend. Hopefully today coming back, if you didn't have to work on Monday like I did, hopefully your first day back during the week was good. But yep, thank y'all all for tuning in. That'll be it for today. You already know I got to play the outro. And hey, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and all that good old stuff. And hey, that's it. Peace.